Did you know there was a time when the White House was burned to the ground? In 1814, during the War of 1812, British forces stormed Washington, D.C. and set the White House on fire, forcing President James Madison to flee. This war, often forgotten in history, was a defining moment for the United States. The conflict began in 1812 when the U.S. declared war on Britain due to trade restrictions, impressment of American sailors, and British support for Native American resistance. At first, the war seemed disastrous for the young nation. The British Navy dominated the seas, and U.S. forces suffered several defeats. But everything changed in 1815. General Andrew Jackson's stunning victory at the Battle of New Orleans was nothing short of legendary. He crushed the British forces, turning himself into a national hero overnight. This battle, fought after the War of 1812 had officially ended, showcased America's resilience and ability to stand up to powerful empires. While the war itself ended in a stalemate, it ignited a wave of American nationalism that shaped our identity. Imagine if this conflict hadn't happened. Would the United States have emerged as a dominant force in the 19th and 20th centuries? It's a pivotal moment in our history that often gets overlooked. So, was the War of 1812 a victory or just a forgotten conflict? The impact it had on our nation's spirit suggests it was far more significant than many realize. What do you think? Most people think the United States has never been invaded since its independence. But what if I told you that in 1814, British troops marched into Washington, D.C. and set fire to the White House? It was during the War of 1812, a conflict between the U.S. and Britain that started over trade disputes and the forced recruitment of American sailors into the British Navy. The war had several battles, but the most shocking moment came when British forces easily defeated American troops and occupied the U.S. Capitol. As the White House burned, First Lady Dolly Madison managed to save a famous portrait of George Washington before fleeing. It was a moment of humiliation for the young United States, but the war didn't end there. In 1815, American forces led by Andrew Jackson crushed the British in the Battle of New Orleans. Even though a peace treaty had already been signed, this battle changed history, turning Jackson into a legend and boosting American confidence. The War of 1812 may be forgotten by many, but it was one of the most crucial conflicts in U.S. history. Have you heard about this before? Let me know in the comments.